Welcome. Did you happen to get the memo from the curators of culture this past week? That is the New York Times and National Public Radio, NPR. Well, the message that they are sending is that the Declaration of Independence on the 4th of July should be downplayed and, if possible, completely ignored.
The Baker Brief with law professor John Baker. Your weekly dispatch from the battlefield of ideas.
So for 100 years, the New York Times had printed the Declaration every 4th of July. This year, somehow, it didn't get printed on the 4th. And on Wednesday, the 6th, they were caught in a story by Politico. And the explanation was they forgot. How do you forget something that you've marked down and done for 100 years? Well, in any event, National Public Radio was more straightforward about it. They just said, we're not covering it the way we've done. We're stopping. We've done it. We've had a reading since 1988, but we're not going to do that this year. And instead, we are going to emphasize equality. Why this? Well, first of all, they've been emphasizing equality all the way along. But the message from both is that this is something new. We're making a shift. But the reach of the New York Times and NPR is not that great. It reaches important audiences, but it doesn't reach down. So where would they go? Sports, that's what everyone watches, right? Even if they don't read the New York Times or listen to NPR. So we have an article, baseball, barbecue, and losing freedom this 4th of July. Wait a minute, losing freedom? Where's that coming from? Quote, July 4th was the best day of the year. He's talking about when he was a kid. Everything was centered on family. In some ways, it was even better than Christmas. Okay, wonderful. Family, wonderful. Baseball, barbecue, great. But wasn't there more than that to the 4th of July? Maybe you were never told about it. So what does he go on to say? The emphasis on the 4th of July shifted from family to symbols years ago. September 11th, he identifies. 2 decades of paid patriotism has made it ever harder to center the 4th on reconnecting with your favorite aunts and uncles. No backyard barbecue and badminton game could compete with 26 years of military tributes and unquestioned nationalism. Nationalism, patriotism, that's the problem. Well, in other parts of the country, patriotism is not the problem. Contrary to what you just read, what I read, is a different attitude that you'll hear from this 100-year-old Marine veteran about the importance of how he and many others sacrificed for the freedom of this country.
Everything is beautiful. I mean, if I wake up in the morning and see these plants out here and all those flowers that are in there and the green grass on the ground, that's beautiful. And people don't realize what they have. They bitch about it. They do. And then nowadays, I am so upset that the things we did and the things we fought for and the boys that died for it, it's all gone down the drain. Our country's gone to hell in a handbasket. We haven't got the country we had when I was raised, not at all. Nobody will have the fun I had. Nobody will have the opportunity I had. It's just not the same. That's not what our boys, that's not what they died for.
There couldn't be a sharper divide than between what was written by the ESPN author and what you heard that 100-year-old Marine say. Very different. But let's go back to the ESPN article. Quote, no one who cares will ever forget where they were on June 24th, 2022, when the Supreme Court ended legal, federally protected reproductive choice the day after the 50th anniversary of Title IX. Wait a minute. What about freedom before Roe? we had no freedom. What kind of freedom are we talking about? And he never mentions, in fact, that he was born before Roe, at a time when almost all the states criminalized abortion. So this is a rather different point in the sense that Roe changed history, and now history is going backwards. That's the real message. The import of the reversal of Roe in the Dobbs case may not have been made clear to other people, but they are making it clear. What's happened is that the march of history that they thought inevitable seems to have been blocked. Now, it's not that progressives hadn't lost on particular cases, but the view was that this was a constant march despite slowdowns. But this is a very different situation. In this term of the Supreme Court, you not only had guns and God upheld in a religion case and in a Second Amendment case, but then you had losses from the progressive point of view. First of all, in the EPA case on the administrative state, and it doesn't look good from a progressive point of view going forward. And then finally, the Roe case being overturned. That is very significant, as already you read from the ESPN author. So what does this mean? What it means is that the version of equality that many have pushed in the elites is a version that has to be forced. It has to be forced against those provisions in the Bill of Rights, First Amendment, and the Second Amendment that don't correspond to their view of history. And the administrative state has to be forced. And abortion has to be forcibly imposed, or at least not legalized, by the Supreme Court. That is the significance of it in terms of downgrading the Declaration of Independence on the 4th of July. Thank you, and I hope you'll join me next week again.
To ensure your continued access to the Baker Brief, please note our additional channels listed below. And remember to like and subscribe using the bell icon.